Mike Pennacchi with Network Protocol Specialist LLC. So sometimes we need to get in and see what's happening with our fiber network. So in this video, we're going to take a look at this little $28 optical power meter and see how we can use that to measure the optical signal strength coming out of the end of a fiber. And I'll show you how to set a reference on there so that we can get a rough idea of what the loss is for one of our fiber connections. All right, so here we have our little $28 optical power meter. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Now, there's a few things that we need to keep in mind when we're using something like that. And the first one is we need to set our wavelength correctly. If I'm working with multi-mode fiber, my data is going to be going across at 850 nanometers. If I'm working with single mode fiber, my data is going to be going across at 1310 nanometers. So like in this case, I can change my wavelength right here by pushing the little wavelength button. The thing is, it changes my power output significantly. So I'm going to go ahead and change that back to 850 because that is the wavelength I'm using here. Now what I've done is I've got my LC connectors right here, and I've got an LC to SC cable. This, you get what you get for $28, but this one has a SC/FC type connection on the top. So I'm going to connect that on there, and we see that this is our optical signal strength in decibel milliwatts. So it shows us our milliwatts up there. It shows us our signal strength, and it's a negative number. Now, what we're looking for with gigabit Ethernet is we're looking for a number that is greater than -18. Now, the best thing to do is to look at the receive sensitivity for your SFP. So if you go out and look up the data sheet on your SFP, it'll show you what the receive sensitivity is. For gigabit, it's usually around -18. For 10 gig, it's usually around -10 or 11. So we need a stronger signal for that. Now, where this comes in real handy is right now I'm connected right to the SFP for the switch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit ref. And you notice it zeroes that number out right there. Now I'm going to take and disconnect my fiber from my little jumper right here, and I'm going to connect that to 200 meters of multi-mode fiber. And I'm going to grab the fiber that comes out the other end of that 200 meters. I'm going to plug that in right here. And we're going to let that settle down. But now what it's showing me is my loss. And we see that my loss is bouncing around 0.14 dB. Now, when we go in and take a look at something like a 10 gig connection, we want to see less than 2.9 dB of loss. So this gives me an idea of what my loss looks like. So, is this the most accurate piece of equipment in the world? No. You should be looking at something like a Fluke Networks Certifiber Pro for that. But if you just need something to see if there's a signal present and roughly how much loss you're seeing, you'll see that when I wiggle that, the loss changes. But roughly what that loss looks like going across that link. I'm just curious because I can't resist. We're going to take and just rub our finger on the end of that and see if we can make a difference in that loss, because it was around 0.1415. Oh, look at that. Look at the difference that made by me jamming my finger on it. It went from 0.1516 to almost 0.9. That's why we want to clean these. Let's come back in here. Let's use our click cleaner real quick. Give that a clean. We'll clean that. We'll clean the other side too. We'll plug this in. Let's see how we did. Did we clean that? No. Oh, no, there we go. Wow, look at that. That cleaning made a huge difference. We went from 0.9 down to 0.1. We're even better than we were before. This is why we want to make sure we clean it as well. And how can we tell if we did a good job? By using something as simple as a $28 optical power meter. I hope this tech tip has helped you out. go get the right equipment, but if you can't get anything else, this is going to do the job for you. Check out our other tech tips, and I hope that you enjoy the Core IT Pros Conference.